Nice. Good. Cool. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah. Today's video is going to be a bunch of first impressions. I actually got a new brush set, and then also I show you guys my thoughts on my Ipsy bag, as well as other makeup that I just don't use very much or haven't mentioned in a video. And I use them, I show you how to get this look as well. So if you want to see how I achieved this look, make sure you keep on watching. But before, I post beauty videos every Monday and Friday, so make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notifications so that way you'll be notified whenever I post. Also, the products that I can find, I will leave linked down in the description box, so if you're interested in trying something, check that out. So now let's get into the video. Before we get in with all the new products, let's start out by priming the eyes with the tried and true Smashbox 24-hour shadow primer. While that's becoming tacky, what kind of started this video idea, I knew I wanted to do like another makeup tutorial, but then my friend got me this 6-piece brush set. These brushes, I feel like a lot of different companies have done them, or this style, so that kind of intrigued me. I never tried using a brush like this before, so I definitely knew I wanted to use that in a video. And then I'm going to combine that, with this first impressions with my Ipsy bag. So yeah, this is going to be a bunch of first impressions, so let's get excited. To start off the look, I'm going to be taking this brush, and then I'm going to apply a transition shade. I'm going to do this light brown right here. Before I forget to mention it, my face already has moisturizer on it and my eyebrows are done, just to let you guys know. While we're here just pointing out things that you might notice throughout this video, I'm aware that I need to get my nails redone. I might get them done, probably not today, maybe this week. That'd be nice. So the first one that I'm going to be getting out is this one right here, and they are named what you need to use them for, or what they recommend using them for. This one says it's eyeshadow, so I feel like the face ones are going to go over better. I feel like it'd be easier to use these with face application, but I'm just not sure about this eyeshadow situation, but I wanted to let you guys know my thoughts on it, so here we are. So I'm just going to apply this, honestly, this looks like a toothbrush. Interesting, I'm intrigued. And get some on there. And I'm just gonna kind of create a V, or at least that is my intention. I think I'm gonna blend this color with this color, which is like a deep brown. I'm gonna blend this out, but I just don't know, as I was saying earlier, I just don't know how these style of brushes will work with eyeshadow, but I feel like maybe it'll work better for face makeup application. Cause do you like this situation right here? Not a fan. I know you can clean it up, and that's why I do my eyeshadow first now. Oh man, I knew I was forgetting something. I didn't bring in my cellar water, and I don't like to get up after I start filming, so we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Also, if any of you have used brushes like these before, let me know. I would love to know your thoughts on them. I like trying out new things in the beauty community, obviously, because I love makeup. Also, I failed to mention my best friend actually got these brushes for me, and I just posted a video where I do her makeup. It's a fun one. It will be linked in the description box. You should definitely check it out if you haven't seen it yet. So also I want to say, since I mentioned that she got these for me, I greatly appreciate her getting these for me, and it's definitely fun to try out these things. I feel like, I'm gonna say this 75 times, I think that the face brushes will work better than the eye brushes, and it's always fun to try out new products. So if I don't like these, I don't want it to come across as being ungrateful. Definitely grateful for her getting these for me. I really, really appreciate it. And also, this is just my first time using them, so I might, I can use them more in the future and actually get better with using them, so that's also something that I want to point out. I'm just doing my first impressions in this video. Okay, so another intriguing thing is this brush says it's for eye blending, so let's see how that goes. It's just like a larger toothbrush. This is very interesting. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use, I don't know, I think I'm gonna use this to try to blend it out. Also, I'm just used to using these, so obviously this will be quicker. This is going to be a very smoky look. Apparently it's not going to be as precise as my outer corner looks usually are, but as I've said before, it's good to change up, you know, what you do every now and then, because I still am using very similar colors to what I normally use. So for my lid color, I'm going to be taking this loose pigment or loose eyeshadow, whatever you want to call it. It's from Bare Minerals. I know I have fallout. Anyway, it's from Bare Minerals, and it's just this light pink. I wish that this was more shimmery. Personally, I do prefer more shimmery colors on the lids, but I wanted to show you guys how this looks because I have not used this in a video yet. So the first thing that I got for my Ipsy bag that I'm going to use is this brush. So I got another brush this month, which I should have taken out of the plastic before this video started, but oh well. I'm going to try to wet this and then apply the pigment because I have applied this dry, but I think maybe if it's wet, it will be more shimmery. So this is just Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. And then apply some of that pigment. This might not go as I planned, but we're gonna see how you apply. Okay, yes, definitely more shimmery. So that goal was attained. Okay, so in the future, whenever I apply this, I'm going to wet the brush first because that is a lot more foiled, and that is the look that I personally like more. So the same for the other eye. Also, note to self, whenever I think of doing things, I really just need to do that at that time because I remembered to get my micellar water, but then I continued drying my hair, and here we are filming with no micellar water to remove that fallout. So I lost some of that outer V, like outer corner color, so I'm gonna apply some more of that with this toothbrush looking brush. I'm really glad that I wet that color because that is a whole lot more pretty than whenever it's just applied dry, or this at least is more of the way that I prefer colors to look. There we go. Yeah, this is just gonna be a smoky look as I mentioned. And actually, I like how these colors come together. It's really pretty. I'm gonna highlight the brow bone with the other side of this brush, and I'm just going to use this shade right here from this same Sephora palette. This is a really soft brush too. I think I am going to actually pause and I'll be right back. I need to remove this fallout with my micellar water because it needs to be done. Another thing that I received in my Ipsy bag for January is an illuminating primer, which I mentioned before I have oily skin, so I don't really need an illuminating primer too much. But I can, like, my plan on using this obviously is going to just be apply it where I highlight. So this is a Lumelayer primer by the brand VDL. So I have already tried this out, and I wasn't a huge fan of the shimmer because it's more of like an iridescent or purple. Yeah, you can kind of see that purple shimmer, and I wish it was more of a gold, like it leaned more towards the gold side. A little bit more there. Like, yeah, I just don't know how, like this iridescence, I don't know. That's very shimmery. I can't imagine using this all over your face. I'm going to prime the rest of my face with another Bare Minerals product. This is a Bare Minerals Prime Time, their original foundation primer. And I have used this before as well, and I wasn't a huge fan of this is like personal preference. It is kind of silicone-y, not as much as the Smashbox original primer. This is actually thinner than that, but personally I'm not a huge fan of those kinds of primers. For foundation, of course, I'm going to be going in with my Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. They actually recommend this brush for powder, but I'm going to use this for the foundation brush. I think is really small, like that would take too long. Can you see? Yeah, that's too small. So I'm actually going to be using this powder one as the foundation brush, and for this one I'm going to use to apply my under eye concealer. As I mentioned, I've never used a brush like this before, so this is interesting. I'm gonna apply a little bit more where I'm kind of broken out. My first impression of this brush right now is I think it gives a lesser coverage than what I normally use, which is the It brushes for Ulta brush. I've used that in several videos before. I don't think that this is bad. I just, need to try it more, and it does take a little bit longer to blend out my foundation versus whenever I use that, but also it might just be I'm not used to using this brush, and also the brush that I normally use is a little bit bigger, so obviously that would make the foundation application go on a little bit quicker, but this might be better suited for people who don't have as many breakouts in their skin, because as I mentioned, I think it does give a little bit of a lighter coverage than what I'm used to with the brush that I use right now. I'm going to go in with Shape Tape, my concealer. This is so small, like it took me a little while to blend out that foundation with this brush. I can't imagine actually using this brush for foundation. That's just my thoughts on that. Okay, so normally I kind of go with patting motions for this concealer. So that is how I'm going to try to blend this out here. I don't know if I like how this is blending out. I think this brush would work better if your concealer was a little bit thinner, but Shape Tape is just really thick, and this is a little bit of a looser brush. This is what I normally use to blend out my concealer, and I just find that it's quicker. But if you, like I said, if you have a concealer that is a little bit of a thinner consistency, this might work better for that. I'm gonna let that set for a little bit. Now I'm gonna go in with powder, and I'm actually gonna use the same brush that I use for foundation for powder because it's not wet or anything like that from the foundation, and that is what this brush is intended for. I'm going to be using my Urban Decay All Nighter setting powder. Yeah. Okay, so since this is obviously a denser brush, this would apply the powder a little bit more densely. So in my immediate thoughts, this might get cakey easily, or just, it's not gonna be as airbrushed as like a lighter, as a fluffier brush. So actually I'm going to use my Sigma powder brush that I normally apply. Also, this obviously is going to apply a lot quicker. Okay, I want to clarify, this actually doesn't look cakey whenever I was using this. I just couldn't think of how I wanted to word that. But if anything, this brush will obviously be quicker, and it is also what I'm used to. So one of the last brushes that we have is this very interesting one, because it actually says that to use this for eyeliner, which, it should not be any surprise here. I do not wear eyeliner, but I am going to use this to apply lower lash line shadow to my lower lash line. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. And also I just want to mention, I just don't know how you would apply eyeliner with this. That's just my initial thoughts. I am going to take this deep brown shade and apply that to my lower lash line. This is nice and thin though, so this is actually a good brush for that. Yeah, and this is very easy to apply. So this might be one of my favorite brushes from this set, just because very simple, and I can very easily apply that color to my lower lash line. Next up, I'm going to use contour, and I'm going to be using this Tarte Pro Glow palette that I have not used very much lately. I'm going to use this Sculpt shade, and I'm going to take the last brush in the set for contour. This actually looks to be very dense, which is nice for this because you want it to be precise. So I'm going to apply where I contour first and then blend it out. I'm gonna try to blend it with this brush, and we're gonna see how that goes. That might not go well, but gotta try it out. Actually, not horrible. This is blending it out, but I might need to use my brush that I normally use to blend out my brush, just because I am very pale, and right now this is still a little too dark. Oops. Great. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna try to blend it out with this brush. This might be fine. So I feel like it looks more intense on camera than it is in real life. I mean, this is still more contour than I normally apply, so probably should, you know, have applied that lighter, but not a bad brush. I just, you know, I needed to blend mine out more because I'm very fair. So now I'm going to go in with blush, and I'm going to be taking this Tarte blush in the shade Party with my blush brush that I normally use by Equal Tools. Finish it off with highlight with once again using this brush, and I'm going to use this palette as well. And you can still, I think you can still see that, or I can at least see in person, that primer. Now I'm going to set my face with All Nighter Setting Spray. Another product that I got in this month's Ipsy bag, which I actually really liked as well, is a lip liner. And this looks to be a full size, a berry color, very similar to my shirt. So I was very pleased to get this. I'm gonna line my lips and then fill them in. And then over top of that, I'm going to apply a lipstick that I actually got in an Ipsy bag as well. So I got too excited about that lip liner. I need to apply mascara and I'll be right back. Much better. I actually have two more things from my Ipsy bag to mention that I did not use in this video. So the first thing is a Radiance Polishing Mask, which I'm excited to use this. This is interesting though because it actually is pumpkin and turmeric. Is that how you pronounce it? 2-in-1 Radiance Polishing Mask, so I'm interested to try that. And then lastly, I got another hair item. You guys know how I feel about getting hair items, but I will try this out. I just, you know, haven't tried that out yet. This is a Replenishing Moisture CC Cream, so that's interesting, a CC cream for your hair. Interesting product. Definitely never tried this out before. So that's it for the Ipsy, and then I just kind of want to give my overall thoughts on the brushes. As I mentioned earlier, I am very thankful for my friend for giving these to me, so I don't want to come across as ungrateful. I just need to try them a little bit more. Some of them I feel like aren't going to work out for me personally, but especially the eyeliner brush I think will be good for applying eyeshadow on my lower lash line. And then the other ones I will definitely try out more as well. This was just my first impression. This was like a first impressions video. So that completes the look as well as the video. If you liked this, make sure you give it a thumbs up. I post beauty videos every Monday and Friday. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next video.